Brothers and sisters, if you don't have a personal Sabbath day of rest, I would really encourage you to restore that tradition in your family. And hear me on this. Simply not working is not enough. Simply not going to the office, that's not Sabbath rest. See, although the Jews became incredibly legalistic about what they could and couldn't do on Sabbath, and although Jesus says the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath, what Jesus really meant was this was a day created to remind you of my covenant, not a day for you to beat other people over the head for destroying my covenant. This is not a day about not going to work, but my honey-do list. This is not a day about not going to the store. Instead, I've got to scrub my throat with a toothbrush. And I don't know about you, but we've got 5 kids and we live an incredibly busy life. And I don't know about you, but I will confess, I am not good at this. I am not good at this. But spending time dedicated to resting with God. Whether you're making waffles and hanging out with your kids, whether you're taking the kids to a dog park, whatever it is that you don't do the other 6 days a week. If it's you turn the TV off today because it's a Sabbath day, and I watch TV 6 days a week, but on this 7th day, we don't. On this 7th day, the absence of that TV reminds me of God and His covenant with me. I would encourage you to do that. I was with a friend not too long ago, not the last trip I made to Denver, but I think I was back there in March, somewhere around there. And I'm sitting at Denver International Airport, and I'm looking across the latte with this guy. And let me tell you a little bit about my friend. And he'll probably watch the video later, so he'll know what I talked about him, so you can feel free to tell him. And I won't tell you his name, but he is an Abercrombie and Fitch model. And this guy, he works out, takes care of himself. He's always well presented. He's got the nice clothes on. He's got the nice car. And he is the nicest guy you'll ever meet. He will help you move and your grandmother too on a Saturday just because you're honest. He is the nicest guy you'll ever meet. And he's like, Matt, I don't understand why I don't feel close with God. I don't get it. I feel disconnected. I feel like I'm doing everything right, but I'm just not there. I feel like I'm doing all these things. I'm helping out God's kids, and I'm going to church, and I'm singing the songs, and I'm taking up leadership in my church, and I'm doing the modeling, and I'm successful in life, and college is going well, I'm getting my MBA. He's like, I think everything's going great, but I just feel disconnected with the Almighty. And he was talking to me about the girls he was dating, and the girls that he was no longer dating, and how he wasn't serious in a relationship, but he'd been on quite a few dates that week, because he's a stud. So, truth be known, he is. And I said, my friend, when was the last time you took Jesus on a date? When was the last time you had a Sabbath rest? When was the last time you and Jesus had coffee? When was the last time you and Jesus went to the mountains? When's the last time you dated Christ? Because if it was a human, if it was my wife or your fiance or my son or my daughter, if it was a human relationship and I came to you and I said I just don't feel close with them, your immediate response would be, well, you should go do something special. And that would be very wise advice. But for some reason, we don't think that we can do that with Jesus. And I'm here to tell you that's absolutely wrong. It's absolutely wrong. The writer of Hebrews promises us this rest is tied to our redemption. And furthermore, he says this Sabbath rest was meant to be a constant reminder of the rest that will come. A weekly, daily reminder of what will come. Brothers and sisters, if you are plagued with this feeling of guilt, if you can't forgive yourself, if you feel like God can never love you because of what you've done, if you feel like you are disconnected with God because you are just too dirty to be in His presence, if you feel like you're so filthy there's not water that can clean you up, the writer of Hebrews says, no, there is rest. There is freedom from guilt and pain and suffering. Even that which we create, there is redemption. And when we achieve redemption through Christ, who is greater than angels, who is greater than Moses, who was, as we talked about last week, God who stepped down from earth and put on skin. When we grab this redemption, we have a promise of rest. The praise band's going to come forward, and they're going to sing a song for us. And if you want to come forward, you can. But really what I'd like you to do, I'd like you to start your Sabbath now. Matt's done screaming at you for a while. You're going to go home, you're going to go to your typical Sunday routines, you're going to go to the restaurant you always go to after lunch, and if that line's too long, you're going to go to the other restaurant that you go to when that line's too long, and you're going to go to your honey-do lists, and you're going to make cookies, or you're going to do whatever it is that you do on Sunday. I pray that you start your Sabbath with this. Spend some time with Jesus today. Let that rest lead into your everyday lives. Let this promise that is greater than any persecution and oppression that we may face today carry you through. Because next Sunday is coming. Only got to get to next Sunday.